TNN presents The Daily Cure with Tim Daniels. Today on the show, Tim reviews the new issue of the Vita-Men graphic novel series. And now, here's your host, Tim Daniels. Thank you, Jimmy. And good evening, my friends, brothers, sisters, and everyone in between. As always, I am Tim Daniels, bringing you Epicurean delights from my humble home high on the rolling hills of Westmount, Quebec. With me in my home studio is my good friend, Jimmy James. How are you, Jimmy? Jimmy, I don't think your mic is on. Well, I'm glad to hear that you are well. And I hope that everyone out there is having a very ataraxic day. We have a pleasurable show for you today as we talk about one of my favorite authors, whose latest work came out just today. But before we get to that, there is heaviness on my heart, preventing me from attaining ataraxia. As many of you well know, every year on November 30th, I mourn the death of one of our great Epicureans. Yes, it was on November 30th in the year 1900 that Oscar Wilde passed away. He remains a personal hero to me. I am often reminded of one of his great Epicureanisms, which says, and I quote, "I can resist everything except temptation." End quote. Now, I don't know if there ever was a truer Epicurean than Oscar Wilde. But he died, and you will die too. And so might I, for that matter. But you can definitely see why November 30th prevents me from aponia and ataraxia. But also, today, I learned from Jimmy that this is actually our 43rd episode of The Daily Cure with me, Tim Daniels. For most of you, I don't need to explain the significance of the number 43. I mean, straight off the bat, for both standard mathematicians and numerological mathematicians will agree that the number 43 is absolutely the worst prime number there is. Now, this fact has always baffled me, since 43 sits right beside 42, which is an awesome number. I mean, think about it. 4 times 2 is 8. Huh, wow. And also, the next younger prime than 43 is 41. And 41 is universally considered as a good prime number. Anyone can Google that fact. But let's go a little bit deeper, shall we? In numerology, 41 is representative of personal freedom, aka Epicureanism. Need I say more? Well, yes, in fact, I need say more. Now, if you've got it handy, let's go to our TNN approved numerology Bible and take a look, shall we? If you don't already have this book, you can get your own personalized PDF version for only $49.95 US on our web store. Okay, going to the entry on number 43, the first thing we see is that 43 is an angelic number. I'm not even joking. This should immediately set off warning bells. I mean, it sounds very much like a Stoic principle to me. The Stoics all being theists, all seeking an ultimate unattainable virtue. And can you see anything on earth more virtuous than an angel? No. Therefore, 43 is Stoic. Ipso ergo facto, 43 is bad. Seriously, 43 is the worst, to be avoided at all costs. But nonetheless, here we are, on our 43rd episode. Though technically the 44th, if you count our pilot episode. But anyways, we seem to have gotten off on a numerological tangent here, as often happens to be the case on the Daily Cure. Am I right, Jimmy? Okay, I get it. So the topic of today was, what was it? Yes. Thank you, Jimmy. We are reviewing the latest issue of my favorite graphic novel, The Vita-Men. On one hand, it's unfortunate that the launch date of this issue is November 30th, but on the other hand, it definitely made my day more pleasurable. Now, throughout the years, this author has done an amazing job. He or she sees worlds within worlds within worlds. I mean, it's turtles all the way down. And yet this artist always delivers. Always, it's so profoundly clear on the page. And this latest issue takes us one level deeper. Let me see. To better explain it, imagine the story of Horton. You know, the one who hears a who, but for adults. Or perhaps you might imagine the movie Inception, except for sane people, right? Or perhaps, here's another one. Imagine a cross between the original Spider-Man and the MCU adaptation of Ant-Man, and then you cross that with the Amazing Spider-Man because of the parallel universes, and then you cross that with the nutritional label from basically any food product, and now you have the Vita-Men. You get it? In this latest issue out today, the Vita-Men, or the V-Men, as they have come to be known, are fighting a more contemporary villain. In this case, the COVID virus. The title of this tome is The V-Men, V the Vid, VVV. I have to say, that's an awesome title, numerologically speaking. Now, we have made numerous attempts to contact the author, but unfortunately have failed. They're hiding behind an obviously fake pseudonym. I mean, seriously, am I supposed to believe that your name is Tim and also that your initials are TIM? No. I'm sorry, but that stretches my incredulity a little bit too far. My 10-year-old son could come up with a better pseudonym from that. Of course, I could forgive that, since they have done so much for the Epicurean cause. Now, you know what? I always imagine the artist as a very short, stout person. I think of them as very wise and old. Like they must be very old, so old. How old, you ask? Well, I think based on those dated references that we see in V-Men series, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this person actually knew Oscar Wilde personally. Maybe that was actually how this Epicurean torch got passed from one to the other. What do you think, Jimmy? That's a good point. Anyways, whoever you are, TIM, I want you to know that I really do appreciate your art. And I appreciate everything that you do. Thank you so much for inspiring me. I do look forward to your next work. To you and to all of the Epicureans out there and all of the Epicurious people, I will remind you that life is good. Make sure that you enjoy it. Goodbye and good luck. From me, Tim Daniels. And cut. Roll credits, Jimmy. Hey, wait a minute. Jimmy, did you notice that this issue of the V-Men is actually issue number 43? I just did a whole rant about the number 43. Were you listening? Well, don't you see? We're on episode number 43 of The Cure, and this is issue number 43 of the V-Men? That can't be a coincidence. I mean, wow, this could actually have an impact on our work. I mean, I know that my numerological models they're tight. We both know that, right? And we know that November 30th is objectively bad. The number 43 is objectively bad. And yet the Vita-Men are objectively good. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to tack on an epsilon, an error term to all my equations. We'll just call it a cosmic error term or whatever. And there we go. Problem solved. No, I'm actually serious. Like, what if I could change all my false negatives into a positive for the model? Numerology might be finally taken seriously. Imagine what that would do if I presented that at the Numerological Mathematicians Conference next June. Oh, wow, Jimmy. Right, of course. Wait, hey, Jimmy, did you stop the live feed? Why is that green light still on? Oh, well, why don't I get